Well, you're back with the National Real Estate Cafe with Don Gatling and Gino Franti, where for 2.5 years we've had the pleasure of sharing with you what you need to know, want to know about real estate, finance, and anything else we can think of that might guide you to personal financial wellness.
Well, today we're going to take a look at some of the basics, right? I think sometimes we break down very complicated things or talk about difficult strategies. Today, we'd like to show you some of the real basics of what it takes to buy a home.
And not just going online?
Painful if you do that. Painful.
Yeah, you just go online and it does it for you.
Now, online is a good place to confuse yourself, that's for sure.
There's a good way to put it. Yes, thank you.
But if you do find or it's a good place to look at reviews, Don. Let's be honest, right? We're very proud of our reviews, so it's a good place to look at reviews to make sure the person you're working with is a professional and has happy clients.
No better to know than the peers saying how well you do. Okay, so let's give you some basics here about the mortgage process, what's important, of course, and down payment. Now, a lot of you have heard that you need 20% down payment, but believe it or not, if you're a vet, you can get as low as 0 down, and in most cases, FHA, 3.5% down, 5%, 10%, 20%. There's so many options, but you can get as low as 0 down for vets and 3 or 3.5% down for anyone else.
So if you have a few $1,000s in your savings account, talk to a mortgage professional and say, here's what I have. Can you do something for me? You may be entitled to grants. You may be entitled to first-time homebuyer programs. Ask somebody. Don't assume you need a large down payment.
You know what you are entitled to? A plan.
Yeah.
We can help you put together a plan because, believe it or not, 6 months or a year down the road comes by like that, and you'll be ready to get into your own home, and there's nothing like home ownership.
All right, let's take a look at the next part here. So income verification, credit history, and asset documentation. Well, that alone could be 1,300 pages long, like our guidelines.
Right.
That's the most critical piece here. That's where things get sometimes a little bit difficult because we don't live our life like guidelines want us to. So a couple just really good tips to be careful with. Don't make any payments more than 30 days late. You could be 8 days late, 12 days late, 15 days late. Don't be 30 days late on anything, even a $40 bill. That's one of the saddest things we see is somebody late on something that's $20 or a Macy's card or something like that.
Or they get pissed off at their cell carrier
and
or
they
something
say, I'm
like
not
that.
going to pay it. Yeah, don't do that.
It's not worth it for $80 or $100 and something to ruin your credit.
Thousands on your mortgage, if not tens of thousands on your mortgage if you do that. So as your credit history, don't pay anything late. When it comes to income, I know you don't have too much control of that. For you self-employed borrowers, though, be careful. If your income declines anything more than 10%, they'll be watching you closely. And if it declines more than 20%, you may not be able to get a loan at all.
Very important to have a mortgage professional, not just going online, but a mortgage professional to basically look at your income and let you know what they can use for your qualification process, because there's different ways to look at it, especially with overtime and bonuses and all that needs to be looked at ahead of time. Don't let somebody just go, oh, this is what you make? Oh, here's what you qualify for. Let them dissect it so that there's no surprises when you put your offer in.
And then the next piece is assets. And assets is probably an area that has a lot of flexibility. Worst case scenario, you may have to wait 2 or 3 months to make sure your assets get in the right order. If you're taking money from a business, you might need to season those assets as your own. If you give yourself a bonus from your business, you need to prove you have a history of a bonus. So there is some flexibility in the asset section. But again, it's something we'll be looking at because we want to determine that you had the ability to save that down payment in order to get it. Not in all cases, though.
Yeah, because you could actually get a gift from a family member or a boss even. As long as you have a long-standing relationship, you can actually get a gift to get into your first home.
That's right. And even from an organization, potentially a religious organization or a school or something of that nature, if you have those types of relationships as well.
All right. So bottom line, reach out to a real professional. Look for a direct lender, a mortgage professional that's been doing this for a long time, preferably 10-plus years, and you're going to get that experience that's going to change your life, because remember, this is the biggest asset and the biggest debt you're going to have, so you might as well go to a professional to guide it in the right direction.
Some guys have 30-plus years. Try to find some of those.
I started when I was young. All right, remember, you can get these sent right to your phone by texting NREC to the number 58885. Please share with your friend and find out more at donandgino.com.